everyone! Tess hit NAB 2025 in Vegas, where Jay at Sony introduced us to Michael, who used 100 Sony FX3s to reinvent bullet time at 240 frames per second. Seriously, next level. And if that sounds overwhelming, don't worry, Elias is here to break it all down. Let's go!
So look at the TV. Yeah. So what we did, we should. Oh, why don't I let you talk?
Sure. I'll
because basically we ran this project together. It's a collaboration between Nike Japan, Sony, and a French production company. What's their name?
Division Global.
Division Global, and also Radiant US.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing project. I let Michael explain how that project is. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm Michael Mansoury. I'm co-founder and CEO of Radiant Images.
Just so you all know, Michael Mansoury, award-winning technologist, member of the Board of Governors at the Advanced Imaging Society, named as one of the top 50 creatives and technologists by the Studio Daily, recipient of the Lumiere and Red Dot Award. This is an impressive man.
And we had amazing opportunity to collaborate with one of the largest, most impactful production companies, Division Global, and the director, Marius Gonzalez. We did something that was very unique and never done before, and that is to do high frame rate perspective shift. So just think about doing this. We used 100 Sony FX3s to capture 240 frames, and it's a blend of bullet time but it's beyond bullet time, because in bullet time in the past, it's always been like a still frame, and we shift the perspective. Here, we're shifting time and the perspective, and it's a mind-blowing effect.
Are we watching it here?
You will see. Yeah, you're gonna watch the. Yeah. Yeah, so the behind the scenes, we're doing a full breakdown of how it was made. And the post supervisor, Charlie Hispanic, created this incredible workflow to take 100 Sony FX3s, capture them at 240 frames, and then in post, we did a frame interpolation to turn it to 480 frames, and then also to expand the 100 cameras to 400 cameras. The effect is this incredible thing that I've never seen before, because
I know, I'm honestly, I can't I'm having a hard time picturing it.
Yeah, exactly. And how they came up with this really creative way to demonstrate this. And what I love about the effect is that the entire commercial is that. There's no bookends. Doesn't need anything.
Yeah.
It just needs that impact. And we relied on Sony because this is the only camera on the planet that can do that. And I'll explain to you why Sony FX3 versus any other camera. Number one, we want to shoot 240 frames. That's not feasible with most cameras. Small form factor, and because we're doing a lot of things in post where frame interpolation, it means that I have to shoot everything at a very skinny shutter. I cannot shoot things at a 180 shutter. It has to be really, so we lose a lot of light, high frame rate, and a major athlete, the world's biggest skateboard artist, could only do this stunts a few times.
Well,
so we couldn't blind them with a whole bunch of lights. Yeah. So we had to depend on 12,800 ISO as our base. And only the Sony FX3 allows us to shoot super high ISO and have that dynamic range. And that's how we were able to do it. And our friends at Sony, Eldine and Jay and Dice they came in and really gave us the tool sets to do it, and we've automated the entire process now. So the director and the creative and the agency, as well as the brand, didn't have to guess what this is going to feel like. We were able to break every single piece down for them as we're shooting this.
Most video is shot at 24 frames per second, but Radiant's rig shot at 240 frames per second. So this means super slow, smooth motion. Then in post, they turn that into 480 frames per second, basically generating in between frames by using AI. When shooting slow motion, you need a faster shutter to avoid motion blur. A skinny shutter means the shutter is open for a shorter time, but that means that less light hits the sensor. So you need more light or a super sensitive camera. And that's where Sony's 12,800 ISO came in clutch. ISO is the setting that controls your camera's sensitivity to light. So when you're sitting at a low ISO like 100 or 400, your camera becomes less sensitive to light, meaning you can shoot in much brighter, sunnier days. At higher ISOs like 3200 or 12,800, your camera becomes more sensitive to light. So this is great for night shoots or interiors where it's a little darker, or like we're talking about in this scenario where your shutter speed needs to bump up for filming the higher frame rates. The Sony FX3 holds up great at 12,800 ISO, and that's why it was the perfect camera for this experiment.
And just a question, whose brainchild was this?
Yeah,
Who said, like, we want to do this impossible task?
It takes two things. It takes the brainchild of someone that has the vision, but also takes the courage for the brand to embrace new ideas that have never been experimented before. Because when you tell a brand to do something new, no one wants to look vulnerable, no one wants to look stupid, because it could have turned into this incredibly dumb thing as well, right? So.
Oh, but we wouldn't be witnessing it then.
No, but again, it takes courage, because a lot of brands don't take the courage.
Yeah.
They play it safe. And in an environment that we're bombarded by content, we see so much content, and content that doesn't stick. We released a behind-the-scene video, and in less than 48 hours, we have over 2.5 million views on just 2 platforms, not even TikTok.
Yeah.
On TikTok, it's another million, so it's reaching over 3.5 million in less than 48 hours. And it's a lot thanks to our partner, Filmmakers World, that is seeing this kind of vision, aggregating incredible content that also impacts filmmakers from small to big to large. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, congratulations to our partners at Sony as well, because they also had the courage to try something different with their solutions.
Oh, it's absolutely what we want to see more of. Is
exactly.
How can we push the boundaries of the creative potential of cameras and filmmaking?
I agree, and I think what our company Radiant is focused on is on 3 very important verticals. One is cinema, one is immersive, and the other one is live. Why are these 3 very important? Because that is the future. The future of content creation isn't shooting, downloading, uploading, and creating, and it's not only for 16:9. We live in a world where we come up with a great idea, it's not bounded just to a book, right? We take the book, we turn it into a podcast, and then we also were able to turn it into a TV series, or it has a potential to also go and become a film, and to go to multiple other viewing methods. We could do the same thing now with the current technology, to capture once and distribute to all the viewing devices and platforms beyond just the 16:9. And that's a lot of things that Radiant's really focused on, is the effort of capture could extend your reach, but also have incredible impact, not just get drowned and muted with millions and billions of content that's flooding our screens. And creating things in 3D spatial, creating things in immersive, creating things in new viewing devices and platforms. And we make that easier for content creators to jump into that without looking vulnerable or putting themselves in a vulnerable position. And that's what Radiant's really main focus is how do we enable content creation to go beyond a locked frame into all these new emerging technologies and viewing devices. Company just recently won one of the most prestigious awards from Advanced Imaging Society, and it was for the F1 Las Vegas Grand Prix. We won it last month with our partners at T-Mobile. We did something that was really cool and exciting, and it changed the fan engagement to a really fascinating interactive experience. And I'll explain to you in a high level what we did with T-Mobile. So we were contracted by T-Mobile to create this incredible fan experience pre-track of the F1 experience. So we brought a 12K 360-degree 3D camera, and we drove the entire course. This allows the viewers to get a sensory exactly what it feels like to put themselves in a moving race car. We're looking at the live feed from the camera. We're able to do things faster, cheaper, and better. Why are we using high-resolution cameras? We went back to the same thing. The one effort was able to be leveraged for all viewing devices and platforms from everywhere. So it wasn't just bounded to a mobile phone. It wasn't bounded to television sets. It allowed the brand to reach a wider audience, and how we did it is incredible, because what we did as an entire post-production was remote. So you hear a lot of these things about remote productions. You hear a lot of things about AI and VR. And
so many things.
Those are just buzzwords. We've embraced all those buzzwords, and we use them in an application in a parking lot with really the only infrastructure is the 5G network. And here's what we did. The remote production is really incredible, because I'm in a parking lot. I'm forced to be in a parking lot because I need to be close to the racetrack, right?
Yeah.
And we need to also control the camera remotely, because obviously I can't be in the car in a 360-degree camera capture and control the camera inside of it. I have to do it remote. So the 5G network allowed us to do the entire stream viewing, including with all the fans using the network. T-Mobile enabled us to do this, and then what we were able to do is send the data all the way up, 1.5 terabytes of data into the cloud, so our remote teams could work on it instantly. And what we did is we stitched the files. We were able to remove the car using AI, replace it with a digital double, bring all the analytics from the car, telemetrics from the car, the driver stats, the dashboard, the engine, all that noise, embed it into a real-time engine. Something, honestly, we've been doing this for many, many years. Something that would take us months to years with 200 or 300 people, we did it in hours. And the reason we're able to do this is when you leverage the tools that lets you remote operate and remotely collaborate in a real-time environment, the first thing you get, which is the biggest time suck, is the back and forth. I send something to you, you need to send it back to me. I want to look at, no, we're on set. Do we go back and forth, or we keep shooting?
Yeah.
So we extend the set, we bring it all together. And that's another company that I'm CEO of. It's called Meetmo, and it's a real-time, crazy collaboration platform that is not bounded by resolution. We're resolution independent. So that means you become a most powerful broadcaster. You're no longer bounded by just sticking in SMPTE standards at 4K.
Yeah.
We do 8K and beyond. We go right live streaming to game engines, so you can reanimate it and create new things from it. And we also enable AI to allow you to try new ideologies or new methods. I remember the most expensive word in film and television is the word of what if. Right? When you ask what if on set, it's usually very expensive. In a real-time environment, when decisions are made and you can audition things, what if doesn't have to be expensive. It's a new ability.
What a good catchphrase.
It's the truth. It's actually the truth. And it's a discipline that we've learned. It's a discipline that we learned being on set, and learning that every time we tried new things, it was very expensive. And leveraging AI in this kind of a method allows you to audition what it would be like if you de-aged something, or tried this new audio system, or reach a bigger audience because you can do real-time translations and reach a different audience somewhere else.
So many of the barriers
or change the background. My background plate that we captured in 360 high resolution could now be in Paris, and that's where we're streaming it to. So those are exciting things that we could do, leveraging one of our platforms, Meetmo, that enables content creation not to be bounded by geography or space or even time, because we're reducing all that. And in a world that everyone's looking for cost-effective methods, you're not going to be able to pay directors less, actors less. Those are always going to stay the same. Marketing is going to be the same. The only area for efficiency is post to capture. If we could shrink that down, and when you bring things into real time, it's instant. You're not going back and forth. And now there's efficiencies involved in that, and it doesn't displace people. It just enables people to leverage more powerful tools that are in their arsenal.
Absolutely. Leverage more powerful tools.
That's in the cloud.
What if without the expenses.
The number one thing, again, because we're also creating tools that we use, I don't want to schlep gear around. Exactly. Like that's enable freedom. That my entire broadcast tool, capture tool, could fit in my hand. Before it was just impossible to move, in a very spontaneous, authentic way.
Yeah.
That allows us to do that. A mobile phone is also another bridge to move stories and share stories, and we embrace it. We think it's great, and being able to leverage not having the infrastructure, which we don't. We don't have to have any hardware in our platform. We support everything in our cloud. So you just access the most powerful AI, the most powerful live broadcast, all those things by your mobile phone, connected to a cinema camera, and that becomes your live broadcast equipment, or use that to go into the cloud, and that becomes a way to distribute it to all the platforms in real time.
Yeah.
That's where the cost savings becomes. Remember, we talked about making the effort once and then distributing to multiple viewing devices. This allows us to do that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing everything about the multiple companies that are making this happen.
So it's Radiant Images, as well as Meetmo, Meetmo.io and RadiantImages.com, and then our partners, obviously, Division Global, which we love, and Filmmakers World, who are always championing us and aggregating our stories and presenting to customers. And journalists like you guys sharing our stories and our customer success stories with other filmmakers so that they can be inspired to do more courageous things like us.
I feel like we just got included in part of the Emmy speech.
Yeah.
Michael and his teams at Radiant Images and Meetmo.io prove the future of filmmaking is already here. So, what would you create if gear, crew, and budget were no limit? Drop it in the comments and follow us. We talk about movies and cutting-edge film tech.